we ready?
Turn that shit up. You have now entered Staying on Point, powered by Digital Sucker Punch. Discussing all things business, fitness, and marketing. You're about to go on a deep dive interviewing some of the best in the business when it comes to thought leaders, entrepreneurship, and business. Buckle up, put your seatbelts on, you're in for a ride. Welcome back for another episode of Staying on Point. Today's guests are good friends of ours, good friends of the agencies, someone that we've worked with for quite some time now, and they have an extremely interesting story personally and also how they've come about building a fantastic business. And welcome to the stage, Bethany and Johnny Gonzalez. I'm just going to patch you guys in. Here we go. Hey guys, how are you?
Hello, good to be here.
Doing awesome. Thanks for having us on, man.
My pleasure. So, for you guys, I'm going to do the obligatory, who are you, where are you, what are you guys up to, those sort of questions. So, give us a bit of a rundown. Who are you guys? Where are you? And obviously you've got top-notch nutrition merchandise on, so that's your brand. But, tell us a little bit of story about who you guys are. How did you come about? How did you become such a powerhouse, couple in the business world?
Yeah, we still don't really know where we are, so it's kind of the moral. No, man, I mean, we got married, what are we going on, 8 years, you said, ago? But yeah, I mean, at the time, we met through network marketing. It's kind of how, which I'm not a huge fan of anymore, but that's kind of how it happened.
Learned a lot, though, at the time.
I would say, yeah, we learned a lot through
Well,
it.
we got into a lot of personal development and things like that through network marketing as well, which I think was kind of a springboard into then when we wanted to get into more entrepreneurship of our own. I think it was a good start there, but we met through that and got married 3 months later.
Wow.
And pretty interesting.
Yeah, we move a lot. People call us gypsies because we're constantly bouncing around.
You do have dark features. You both have dark features.
Yeah, right. So when we were in Florida, we moved to Florida, no money in our bank account, didn't have jobs. We were in network marketing. We just switched companies. We were somehow, they get you going crazy, you're going to make it somehow. Yeah. And so we moved there, no income. She started working at a golf course, and she's really down in Florida, CEO of Gatorade.
It was pretty good.
It was a pretty good. She bring home, for us $600 cash, and we were like, whoa. And I was working jobs as a manager at LA Fitness, kind of bouncing around. I had owned my own business all before network marketing, but sold it, and then we went all in on this. I mean, they had brainwashed us to the point where all in. Yeah. But we moved to Florida, and then I was working at LA Fitness stuff. I couldn't take it anymore. I can't work for other people. Never have. I'm not good with authority.
David might know that.
David might know that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And so, one day I just literally was sitting at LA Fitness, and I got promoted, and I was sitting there, and I just walked out. My boss came in with super glue in his hair because he fell down the stairs drunk and split his head open.
Good boss.
So, and he's yelling at me, and I just said,
"Oh, it's your fault. It's your fault."
I'm like, I'm out. I just walked out that day, came home. I'm like, Beth, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to start something online. Just trust me. And I started selling on eBay. That's kind of, it was dropshipping.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm talking remote control cars.
Yeah.
We had, to us, at the time,
it was cool.
It was a lot. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And so I found a training. I started doing it. And then eBay, we kept doing that. It was May, April, spring here. And I started drop shipping patio sets. I set up a hotline with my phone. I was taking patio sets online. They were about $400 and drop shipping them for $1,200. And I just said, screw it, Beth. I'm just going to try it. And one day, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. We didn't know how we were going to pay the bills.
This is when we first started on Amazon.
My phone starts ringing. I'm the customer service. I'm doing it all.
Let me get my manager.
Yeah, exactly what I did.
And
it was through
I would do that. I'd be like, just a minute, let me talk to my manager and give it to him.
We sold 8 patio sets in one day, and we're it was crazy. We couldn't believe it.
It was really cool.
But we knew that was coming to an end because spring and summer came to an end.
Right. But that gave us a taste of what online sales could be like.
Yeah.
And so that got us really involved and really interested in e-commerce. Working from home. And that's what he told me when we first started selling online. He said he was selling remote control cars, and I think he was making $4 or $5 profits at first. And he goes, Bethany, just trust me. Just trust me on this. And I said, okay, I'm going to keep grinding at the golf course. You do this. And he would be up at 6 a.m. to take me to work. And then when I would get home at night, he would be up until 1 or 2 in the morning, still working on his listing, still learning. And so it was like nonstop for probably 3-4 years.
Yeah. And then it's just like one day eBay just wasn't enough. It started to get saturated and
yeah.
I'm like, man.
Well, there became more and more trainings, and it became popular for people to find someone who was successful and undercut them. Yeah. And so then we realized, hey, we need to build our own brand. We need to.
But that was it. It was the patio set time when she was working and she was finally, because I said, just like, I mean, we're Christian people, and I prayed about it. I was like, I just want Bethany to be able to come home and not have to. And within a few months of those patio sets, she's quit her job. She was at home. We never went back. We've never worked jobs.
Nope, not since.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. That's cool.
So eBay stopped, but then we went to Amazon, man. And then we started this mattress topper, memory foam mattress topper. We started drop shipping those we lived off that for 4 years.
Yep.
And it was literally just, and I came up with this, I'm saying this publicly here. I came up with this whole system for ranking using gift cards and
it was insane.
It was insane. But
like the system that we had built, and it was all Johnny's brainchild. Like we didn't learn it from anybody. We didn't have any training. We even had cease and desist written up for people who would undercut our listing. Yeah. I mean, we had everything like mapped out exactly for this drop shipping business. It was
hilarious,
for betting, and it was a beautiful system. But it was insane.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it. We worked 4 years. We traveled all over and lived off of it and just drop shipped.
Yeah, it was cool.
You could have made so much more money. Like if you package that into a course and sold that nowadays.
Right. Yeah, right.
That's where the money would have been.
Like, is this legal? Like,
I mean, drop shipping, that's what I told, like, whenever we would talk about, like, the ethical standpoint of it, I said, it is sales. I mean, you buy something for less and you sell it for more. I mean, it's sales. So at the end of the day, your conscience is still clear knowing that I'm just a good marketer.
Yeah. I think what we discovered is the high ticket where everyone else, I'd meet like gurus, right? I'd pay them money to kind of learn more about Amazon, and they would go, what are you doing now? And well, drop shipping. How many items do you have? 4. And they're like, I mean, drop shippers would have 3,000-4,000 items, right? And just make a couple bucks off each. But we had 4, we were making $300-$400 a sale. And they just couldn't wrap their heads around it.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because like the student become the teacher.
And then the mattress topper thing, after 4 years, we got into actual FBA.
Yep.
Which was like, our not like supplements, like a brand, but we'd find items we knew we could rank. We'd come up with a brand name for them and then ship them over from China. We did all that for a couple of years.
Yep.
That wasn't the best.
No, I mean, we had several different like brands, but they were just one product brands. Yeah. And we realized that if we really wanted to build a business, that this is not the way. And so we figured that out. I think we did about 2 years of FBA where we realized, the smaller profit items where the margin was small.
Yeah.
And so
it was just a race to the bottom.
You didn't have a lot to work with.
Race to the bottom.
Yep.
But then after that, we went to a mastermind that we paid way too much money for, and it was kind of a joke. But it got our minds going on. It's funny when we look back because people are like, why did you move to Salt Lake City? Story is we just drove through it. We liked it. So then we moved there.
Gypsies.
Yeah. It all started this top-notch idea.
Okay.
And that's when we went to this mastermind. We paid a ridiculous amount. It was a complete joke, but then it started top-notch. So you look back and you're always like, there's a reason we went there.
Right.
And so we started Top Notch Nutrition, and I think we're at 2.5 years now?
Yep, 2.5.
But not really.
But honestly, though, before we started Top Notch Nutrition, it was kind of an easy entry point into a business because we are so passionate about nutrition and fitness and being healthy. And so in the supplement space, it's not easy to find a lot of products that are very clean sourced, no artificial ingredients.
Yeah.
I mean, our manufacturer rolls his eyes at us when we ask every question of not just where.
I am. Yeah. Well, what's the source? He's like, what do you mean, what's the source? He's like, it's vitamin C. I'm like, what's the source of the vitamin C?
Where does it come from?
Is it corn? And he's just like, dude, you gotta stop. I'm like, nope.
He told us too that we have way too big of a conscience.
Because if I want to take it, we won't do it. That's why it takes so long sometimes, because I'm going to the source. I'm like, that's GMO corn. I'm not putting that out there.
Right.
So we're just way OCD about it. But a clean line that fit us. And that's what we would say. If we won't take it, we won't make it.
Right.
It's like we literally make them for ourselves.
If we won't take it, hang on, what time is this recording? 9:29. There we go. That's going to be the insert. That's going to be the snippet to promote this. If we won't take it, we won't make it. There we go. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's trials of 14, 15 different variations because it's just,
Yeah.
I'm getting
Our
a reaction.
Our greens was 16
variations.
which was very hard to get taste good naturally.
Because we don't use any. If you use artificial stuff, I mean, you're like, hey, I want it to taste like Warheads, and it tastes like Warheads.
Right.
But if you use,
do you mean Warheads like the little
candy? Well, that's what you see all these flavors that are like ridiculous. And there's brands that have done awesome with it. We love those brands. Just following them. Like Ghost, for example.
Yeah.
They crush it. But from the natural space, it's really hard to flavor things.
Yeah.
Naturally.
That's why with our protein, even people say we have natural vanilla and natural chocolate. They said, why don't you do like Reese's peanut butter cup? And I said, we're trying. Like it's not to naturally flavor something and have it taste really good.
I had the chocolate protein yesterday and it is phenomenal. It is really good. Your natural, really good. Actually, obviously been trying all your products over the last few weeks and they are phenomenal. Like each time it's like, ooh, what's this one going to taste like? It's exciting. So
the best ones, I feel like my favorite flavored products are the pre-workout because they're sour because of the malic acid. So it tastes really tart.
What's your favorite pre?
I've only tried the strawberry so far.
Oh, the grape.
I haven't tried the grape or the orange tart, is it? The other one?
Yeah, orange.
Yeah. Like the thing is, I wanted to get into it, but my partner Jude's like, no, just open one, go through that, then open the next. I'm like, no, I just want to open and try them all. So I'm under restraints at this point in time.
Well, the thing is, you mix the hydrate and the pre, and it's really good.
Yeah,
grape and lemon lime, the mixes are really good.
Yeah. It's fun to experiment with, but we do have a lot of different flavors of the products. It's just a matter of then getting them ready to go and launching them and having it be the right time.
But when you ask, like, well, how do we get here? Like, we don't know. I mean, we didn't know anything about manufacturing. We knew nothing about making supplements. We knew nothing about any of it. Right. It was just 17-hour days for 2 years. Now we're much more balanced. I feel like we're running a little more of a business now because we have people like you guys and other people that we kind of have a lot of freedom now, to be honest with you.
Right. Much more. I mean, the first 2 years
to think on growth rather than we were in our computer 17 hours a day for 2 years.
And I think that was necessary to learn the skills and also like exactly what Johnny said is like, how did we get here? It's like, we did
our 10,000 hours.
And
like we did it fast.
Yeah.
So that's a phenomenal story. Thanks for sharing, guys. So, there's heaps of stuff that I want to dive into there, talking about your background and all those platforms that you sort of sharpened your craft on before you got to this point of, producing your own products. But so let me ask you this question. When I met you guys, when Jude and I met you guys a couple of years ago in Miami at Ezra Firestone's mastermind, at what point of Top Notch Nutrition's business growth were you guys at? Was that sounds like that might have been at its very infancy then?
Yeah, that was infancy. And like, honestly, I would say when we met you guys is when we started to really, because we were like a 1-2 product brand and we were still finding our identity, our branding. But honestly, it was ever since we met you guys that it started the projection and kind of dialed in who we are. Like, I think we know who Top Notch is now.
I remember exactly in Miami, we were sitting at that hotel that had like the best chicken. Do you remember that place?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, we were sitting at the hotel and we were having lunch and we like had that epiphany moment where like, this is who we are as a brand and this is what we want to stand for. And that's kind of the same thing with what we said, if we won't take it, we won't make it. That's our mantra. Like we want to
nothing artificial ever.
Right.
If we won't take it, we won't make it.
Yep, we want to stick behind our brand 100%. And after that mastermind, or actually during that mastermind, is when we really found ourselves in our brand. And that was a very powerful moment because I feel like then we were able to create the whole line. Like Johnny said, we were 1, 2, 3 product brand, but we were really big on Amazon at the time. Our Shopify was very, very small. And that's why we went to that mastermind to learn Shopify and to knowing that an Amazon business truly is not your business.
Yep.
And so we were really wanting to take.
But when you look back in hindsight again, the event itself, same stuff you've heard everywhere. I didn't really get a lot of it. We met you guys. That's it.
Yeah. We look back and say that was why the mastermind's worth it.
Because we sat down at lunch that day, and then we talked. Remember, and Jordan came up at Alpha Line. And we're like, oh, small world. Like I know those guys. You know those guys. And then otherwise. I guess we went there and met our ad agency because at the time, I'm not going to talk bad about a specific agency, but man, it was rough times there for a while.
Yeah.
Until we ran into you guys. So.
Yeah. Very
And-
hard to build a
And
Shopify
the
without-
food there was phenomenal.
Oh,
Just side
oh
note,
my
side
God.
I miss it. Yeah, I know Ezra crushed that.
Yeah.
The food bar outside there.
note. That was the same.
I was like, man, I wish I had a bigger stomach
Oh,
because I wanted to
man.
eat more.
Yeah, that
It was
was
so
awesome.
good. So good.
We brought my mother-in-law along as the babysitter because we couldn't get away with not bringing Sky, my daughter. So we just snuck her along. She stayed at the hotel there, and then no one said anything. She came down every morning, ate breakfast, ate lunch, and just
It's awesome.
yeah. So like,
That's great.
the food was phenomenal.
That's one thing they did amazing there for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
So you guys came from a multi-level marketing background.
Mhm.
And then you went into eBay, which is funny because I had the eBay background, not probably as extensive as you guys, but I was selling rip-off Nikes from China on eBay. But you know,
Sounds like eBay.
Somewhere.
it worked. And then you went into sort of selling other products on eBay. Then you went into Amazon. So there's a recurring theme here where you're sort of piggybacking off other marketplaces or platforms. So do you feel that sort of gave you guys the tools in terms of the back end business structure, not necessarily the front end marketing and all the advertising that goes with it, but just the running of a business, the customer service, the supply chain, all that sort of stuff. Do you think that sort of set you up for where you guys are now?
Yeah, and I think without all that, I mean, that's what I say. You look back and everything happened for a reason. Because this would have probably been overwhelming. Just working with Amazon, understanding customer service. Yeah, they handle a lot for you, but you still had to do a lot of it.
Right.
And then getting products shipped in, all that kind of stuff. Now it's all on our own, but yeah, I mean, if you look all the way back, I would say without any of those pieces, it would be a lot more difficult at this point.
So you could say Top Notch is only 2.5 years old, but I mean, we basically had a university education in ecom
That's what
before
it was.
it.
Yep.
Which
Yeah,
was-
like, oh man, Amazon, I aged 10 years going through 2 years of Amazon. Like it was accounts shut down, $20,000 inventory stuck in China or lost. I mean, did it all. Yeah. So we learned a lot there and learned a lot about what we don't want.
Sure.
I don't want to be dependent. And that's like, where we're at now, even it's like, we're still kind of dependent on running ads at Facebook and things, but Shopify, we want to own our own store. Like we want to at least have that. And that's where it was finally this last year, we sold ketone test strips and we had just placed an order for 25,000 units and they shut it down. And it was months where we thought, man, we'll get it back up. Never got it back up. And
we were selling up to 700 units a day.
Yeah, we were selling about 700 units a day of ketone test strips.
And so it was a big, revenue generator, especially. I mean, the profit margin was small,
still $2,
but it was a big, it made our revenue look.
Yeah, hold on. Should we, hey, you grab her. Can we pause this right now?
All right, wait.
She's going to go off. Yeah.
Back. Cool.
So yeah, that was a huge revenue generator for us as far as what we thought was the foundation of our business. And then once that went down, we realized that we're not a true brand.
It's like where you keep tiptoeing, and then like it's like that person that treats someone really bad, but then they're really nice, so they're like kind of, I'm out of this relationship. Oh no, I'm not. And like
that's called an abusive relationship.
That's what Amazon was to us, man. Like 1 month you're no problem, 0, you're crushing. You can't believe the numbers. The next month you're cut 60%. You're like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. And then right when you're about to quit. Man, they just beat us up for 2 years.
Yeah, it was rough. But then I think once we kind of
that was it. It was the strips.
Once the strips were done, and we said, okay, that's it. We got to figure out how to build a brand off of Amazon.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it forced us to kind of shift and do Shopify, and that's kind of when it really was that last summer. Before is when it happened.
But we still only had 4 products at the time. And then we really dug into product development.
Yeah,
we really
all
did
summer. And
R&D.
It went rough.
We went from 4 products to 13,
even more than that now.
In 6 months.
25 SKUs if you count all the flavors. But and then you've been around for all that.
Wow.
Right.
So, let me dive into that. So you guys are really proactive in producing new products, which is phenomenal because, it's the best way to engage with your audience. And I'm a firm believer there's 2 ways to scale a business, not necessarily 2 ways, but 2 effective ways to scale a business. You either grow vertically with one strong product, one lead product, and you just, basically saturate the market, and then you break out into other markets and you keep continuing to push that lead product, or you grow horizontally where you're basically introducing new products and serving that same audience, or slowly growing that audience, but with new products. You guys are sort of doing both. You're nudging along both. You're probably more on the expanding your product range offering, which is phenomenal because, as you can see, the success that you guys are achieving now, that your audience is receptive to the products. They're great products. What is the process behind this? What's the process behind, without giving too much away, your formulation, why or how you decide to create that particular product? I know you just said if we don't take it, we won't make it. So that's obviously a very good guiding compass for you guys. But what's the process there? Yeah,
so usually we have our products formula. Now we don't always hit it right on the money. When I say, we go to our manufacturer and I'm like, hey, August, I need to have this product ready to launch. Can we have it by then? So we're kind of planned out. We have it's usually like new launch, flavor, new launch, is kind of like our schedule. But as far as it's really just been need.
Right.
As far as there's no real dialed in hey, this is why we're launching this at this time.
Right.
It's usually just we go, we see what works, and then we do more of it.
Well, we want it to be, like I said, a complete line of nutrition products. And so even when the point where we just launched our protein powder in January of 2020.
Yeah.
And we felt like that was something that everybody was asking for. And we let our market tell us a lot too. Hey, we really want you guys to have this.
Community.
And then we figure if we don't offer it, then our clientele, our customers are buying it from somebody else. So if we can find a cleaner source and we can make a better product, and then our customers trust us. Because the coolest thing is when one of the customers of ours says, I don't even need to look at the label anymore because I know if it comes from Top Notch, it's a clean product.
Nice.
And that was our goal. That was our goal when we said is that's kind of like our seal of approval is Top Notch Nutrition. It's going to be a good product. There's going to be no artificial ingredients. And so we just went to, like Johnny said, it wasn't necessarily we just came up with this brilliant idea of this is what product we want to do. We listened to what the market was asking for, and we
pay attention. We did this in the beginning a lot. It was a lot of comparing ourselves to brands that are 20 years old.
Right.
We try not to do that, but we do watch them.
Everyone does it. Whether it's personal, business.
We did stop saying, we're comparing ourselves to the companies like On It.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they've been around for a long time, and that's good. I think it's good to chase that, but at the same time, know where you're at.
It's not fair. It wasn't fair to us because it was stealing a lot of our joy of the process of building a business because we were comparing our year 1 to their year 10.
Yeah.
And we can't expect to be on that level in year 1.
But I think our year 10 is going to look better than their year 10.
Well, naturally, but I think that it was that was something that we had to kind of take a step back and say, okay, we need to cut ourselves some slack. We don't need to be at that level in our first year business. And that was something that was kind of a good thing for us to sit back and reflect on as well.
Because it used to just make us crazy.
We would be
especially in the beginning,
upset.
when you're kind of doing all the little shit like building a website about kill David over here.
We will never do that again for any other client. That was a learning experience.
We're kind of glued together
You're
that
welcome.
website. No, but usually you ask the question formulation. Usually it's we come up with the product idea. We have a big community, and that's something we didn't touch on. Is in the beginning, we built a community for a whole year before we were selling anything.
Right.
And it was in the keto space, which that product Keto Magic is probably our best seller by a long shot. And that's why we spent a whole year building a community, giving value without selling one thing. So when we sold it, eventually it took off.
Right.
Keto Magic was so we are kind of a horizontal brand, but I think we have a couple leaders. And now with you, what we're doing is saying, hey, let's take our leaders and now push them even harder. Mm-hmm. And the rest of them, I'm not going to lie, our manufacturer, and Jordan can probably vouch for this, is a savior because they don't require us to order 3,000-4,000 units.
Right off the bat.
He lets us put it out, test it, and see, hey, is this something we want to order that much of? So they've been great for as far as cash flow and helping us scale because we're not over ordering. On that's 90% of our products they do. So that's been very helpful.
Yep.
And then we always get a product here, we sample it ourselves, and then we have a nutrition coaching company called Evolve that we do outside of Top Notch, and we test it here locally, 100+ people.
Guinea pigs.
Yeah, run it through, and they love doing it. So we run it through there, and if anything were to be off, we would change it before we took it to mass market.
Sure.
That was big for our protein powder because whey protein isolate is usually tough on, like, people don't like whey protein. And when like
100 plus women came and said, not one complaint about gas or bloating. We were like, we got a winner here. Yep. So let's take it to market.
That was the biggest one that we wanted to test because protein powders, I mean, especially with women in our demographic, ages 30 to 50, they'll let you know when something's wrong.
Oh, sure. I bet.
And so the fact that we had no complaints with digestion with the whey protein was we knew we had a winner there. So cool.
So we're all good with the little one?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, you're good. So, I mean, you got your formulation, you create products based on the market, which is phenomenal because, that's the best way to gauge forward. Otherwise, you're just sort of throwing mud at a wall and hoping it sticks. You've partnered with fantastic manufacturers, and I know that minimum order quantities is something that can really stuff you up, make you come unstuck. Like obviously dealing with, our previous brands and manufacturers in China, some of them will come back with ridiculous numbers like 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. It's like, who can, unless you've got VC funding or you've got a lot of money behind you, that's not a viable, realistic choice. So, you've partnered with a really good manufacturer. Then you've pre-built a community. And this is something I really want to touch on because something I noticed about you guys with your Facebook and your Instagram, that you had a massive community. So was that intentional to build that first, to build an interest-based community and then slide in some products afterwards? What was the mentality behind that? Because, you guys hit the ground running with that. And when I saw this, I got excited. I was like, wow. That you got the official little tick, don't you? Have you got the tick?
No,
you don't.
They can't. I don't know why they won't give it to us.
I've tried. We have the words "top-notch nutrition" trademarked. We own it, and so we should get it. But if I could ever get a hold of someone on Instagram, I let them know. I've submitted every 30 days for the last 2 years. Yeah. So I don't know why we can't get it. But
if anyone higher up from Instagram is watching this, give them the tick. Give them the blue tick.
Come on. I want to be verified.
So you guys have got a massive audience, which I was like, wow, this is impressive. How did you go about building such a big audience, such an audience base? Because, I'm a firm believer in that as well, that, if you can get an audience and you can provide them value first. And I suppose it comes back to that whole, the Gary Vaynerchuk, jab, 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 right, cross, whatever it is, you give that value, give that value, give that value, then ask for the sale. And, there seems to be a recurring theme with entrepreneurs that I speak to is that they create a value-based environment first and then ask for the sale. So was that intentional or was that just, hey,
Yeah, it was in the beginning, I think, is that we were in the process of formulating our first product, which back then took 6 months because it was a new process. We're like, well, in the meantime, let's start the page. Let's start going live. And that was probably what did it. We used to go Facebook Lives. Obviously, the reach has been limited now, but back in the day, my goodness.
We used to have so many views.
And we were just on there talking keto at the time because it was full keto. I was kind of dabbling in it. And we were so consistent about every week, no matter what. Every Tuesday we go live, and all of a sudden we couldn't believe it. Hundreds of people that we recognized kept coming on. Yeah. Coming on. And we're like, okay.
we'd have, sometimes even on just posts, because like you said, I was full keto for 2 straight years for my autoimmune disorder, which helped me a lot. Like, I think the keto diet is really good for certain case scenarios and whatnot. But I posted recipes every single day, and we did the messenger bot where if you commented yes, then we sent the recipe to their inbox, which was then so then we
when that worked, yeah.
So we built an awesome ManyChat list. We built an awesome community by going live. We started building our Instagram just by. Some of the tactics are a slap on the wrist now, but back then it was working. So we just hit the ground running with that. And like Johnny said, it was 17-hour days every single day.
I think it was just, we just committed
to
consistency. Consistent. Yeah. And I guess it was just right niche, the right time, keto. And then we launched a keto product that was patented, unique. It was funny because I just saw my buddy working out. He's a biochemist who came up with the product. And I'm like, what is that? He had a white jar. I'm like, what is that? Because he at the time he was formulating it, but in his home gym he's like taking it. I was like, well, what was that? And he told me, and I'm like, well, we're looking to bring something to market, so it's neat. We flew out to Vancouver, and the rest is history. That's keto magic. So
and that was where we started, and that was a really high minimum order quantity. It was something that we never sold. We got so much of it, and it stunk.
As someone new, it was 7,500 units and it stunk like feet.
It was bad. Like, so butyric acid is one of the ingredients that is a key component in the product to be a successful product, but it stinks really bad, like almost like rotten cheese.
I truly believe that if we would have had that smell figured, we haven't figured out now. It took 2 years. In the beginning, we'd be in a different place right now, for sure. Because the reorder rate wasn't there because that stunks. People thought it was rotten. I'm like, no, it's actually the beneficial aspect of it.
But being as we are, we refuse to use any chemical masking agents.
Yeah.
And so naturally masking it would mask, like, sort of. But then the more the jar was exposed to air.
This is an example of sucralose. It would have covered it up, no problem. We would have just put it in there.
Yeah.
And you refused to.
That's another example.
Wouldn't do it.
No, it's against, we wouldn't use it.
I wouldn't take it.
So then we would say I feel like a fraud because I'm selling something that I wouldn't ever use myself.
Yeah.
And so it was just funny because we ordered so many of that product. And even when we look back, some people though who have been with us, it's a pretty solid group of, I would say maybe 200.
You're talking people that no matter what. Yeah.
And they still are like, do you remember Parmesan Punch?
Yeah, Parmesan Punch is what they called it.
Because it stunk like cheese. And so they're like...
Parmesan Punch, man.
So they're like, do you remember when you had this? And I'm like, oh, do we remember? We were stuck
That's how Top Notch started. And then it was a few months later, we had manufacturing fraud. That was a whole other thing. So there were some hiccups there in the beginning.
Manufacturing fraud.
Yeah, we were in Florida. He was in Seattle on the opposite, Bellingham in the corner. And we had paid him over $100,000. And he was a fraud. It was like an American Greed story, man.
It was really bad.
And we went on for a year. We lost that money, over $100,000, and we didn't think we were getting it back because to sue someone, we all know, especially across the country, the expenses would have trumped that easy.
Yeah, we would have spent $100,000 to get $100,000.
But long story short, the FBI got involved, and we found 8 other people that also had been frauded, and we all worked together to
linked up with everybody else to make a case against him. And amazingly, this guy got an investor to invest in his existing business to pay everybody back.
It was insane.
He was a really
he knew all about it. Yeah, he knew everything.
Yeah. So, but that was something too where that was when we were going our second or third product. So we had Parmesan Punch first, then manufacturing fraud, and we had got to a point where we're just I don't know if we can do this.
The moral of the story is just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay, so two things. Parmesan Punch, that's not the legitimate name. That's just the fun name.
Tropical.
It
was Tropical Punch.
Yeah. Okay. And then secondly, so you guys were victim of fraud. Obviously there was multiple victims of this, and then this guy had an investor come on board to pretty much buy out his fraudulent activities. And
so he had his own company. The weird part is he had a company. Yep. And he convinced this guy to buy into that company, which...
This guy is a con man genius.
Oh, insane.
Genius.
Yeah.
We look back...
Because of this con, though, we met our manufacturer and we met our shipping center, which have both been amazing for 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why we say hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
But yeah, no, we were literally leaving Seattle all the way back to Florida, and we were in the hotel that night, and I go... I'm looking this up and I go, Bethany, this is not real. Like, we flew all out there. He no-showed us at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
The second time.
Yeah.
And we flew all the way across the country.
Well, because we're like, we wanted to see the manufacturing plant. Let's go check it out.
Yeah, try the street.
He said,
at the cafe.
Right up the street.
Oh, it was his house.
Oh my gosh. I've never had a panic attack or anxiety.
Bathtub mix.
Yeah. Not even.
Rough times.
It was something else. But
when you look back, it's another reason why we're at. Our manufacturer and our shipping center has been great since.
Right. So it's crazy, but I think that a lot of times, those graphics that say like success, people think it looks like this, but it actually looks like this.
That's it.
For sure.
And we'll hit a couple more, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So I think that's the thing is like keep being persistent and keep being consistent, but then just knowing that if there's a bump in the road, you just do your best and keep going.
I think it's just lessons because like we're so much smarter about people now. And that's why I am the way I am. And you probably think I'm crazy sometimes, but it's because things like that, it just makes me really look at people and like we cover every avenue. And it just made us a lot. I said even if we did lose that, we lost 100,000 so that someday we don't lose 10 million. You know what I mean? So it's just a lesson learned that it's going to save you down the road. And it's all good. I would do it again knowing what I know now.
Same, which is crazy. But it was a long year.
Yeah, long year.
That was long. Well, because we had all of our products too that which don't exist.
With him formulated.
But we
so
were
then none
formulated.
of those existed.
And
so
I mean, we
set
got
us back for
samples.
6
I'm
months.
not kidding. We got samples like in white
Fake
label jars
bars,
and bars, like
Fake.
meal, like protein bar samples that looked so legit. Because I looked at
They provided you samples off.
They were in white, so we thought they were
Wow,
really
that's going along with the con.
Oh, it was.
It was actually because we looked back and we listened to like every conversation because they used Boxer, which is like a walkie-talkie app basically. Yeah, so we went back and we listened to all the conversations that they had for 3 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is unbelievable. Like the con.
So if someone's listening, American Greed needs a new episode, we're down.
We got you.
We're down.
Yeah, it was wild, but he did a very good job of I mean, we looked back and we said, how could we have possibly, the only thing is that we paid for obviously inventory up front, which we shouldn't.
Well, at the time, we didn't really know any better, I guess.
Yeah. So
lesson learned.
Lessons learned.
Yeah. I mean, like at very least with dealing with China, you pay 30% up front to start the manufacturing, which is pretty much covering their downside, and then 70% on completion. So,
it was like 30% up front, but hey, you pay in full.
You get a discount. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and that's part of the con.
I'm not that. I was like, not that dumb, but the way this guy was good, man. He's like a pro. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, he fooled 9 people. So.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like he got some very successful businessmen in his area to invest in what he was doing, to be a part of what he's doing. When we went down there, we had meetings with some guys that were like this. One guy was like one of the most stand-up guys we ever met. He was part of this nonprofit organization, just like a really cool dude. And we went and had a meeting with him. We're like, man, if this guy's invested, for sure, it's legit. And
social proof.
Yeah. So I mean, looking back, like I said, it's hard, but now that's why we are so much more cautious moving forward with any type of partnership. And when equity's on the table, that's always a big red flag when people are asking for that right off the bat. Just certain things that we didn't think about before that now we like Johnny said, it's made us, we learned a hard lesson early so we don't have to learn a harder one later. So all good.
And as they say, only the paranoid survive.
That's right.
We're paranoid, that's for sure.
That could come part and parcel with the frequent moves as well.
Yeah.
So you guys have obviously got top-notch nutrition, very successful, and still in its infancy. You've gone past that 2-year period, which I don't know if it's the same in the US, but I'm sure it's a broad notion that statistically within the first 2 years, 80% of small businesses fail, and then within a small period after that, there's a higher failure rate. Now you guys have gone through that statistical period, and you're doing very, very well there. But you've also got another venture on the side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And really it was, we moved back home. This is kind of where our roots are. My sister has a fitness studio here.
So you're South Dakota now?
Yeah, South Dakota. Yep. We're actually building a home here. So we're actually going to stay put. Well, maybe we could always sell it. 5-year plan.
It's a mobile home. It's a mobile home.
Yeah. 5-year plan.
Yeah. But no, she was running a studio and I was I'm like nutrition certified, big into nutrition. And I just see all these people working out so hard, but they don't have nutrition in check. And it just kind of sparked this idea. Why don't we bring nutrition coaching in? I missed working with people in person. We had been mobile, sitting at home behind our computers.
We
kind of played with it and it just kind of took off. So like, yeah, I want to do this. It's good.
And the results that people have, it's really cool versus somebody who just does a temporary diet versus actually gets nutrition coaching that sets them up for life of health. Yep. It's a really fulfilling thing as well. Because sometimes, like you said, is in e-commerce sales, you might have people have amazing results and testimonies using your product, but you never get to be there firsthand and see it and be a part of it. And that's where nutrition coaching is a very fulfilling.
Yeah, and so the way we kind of ran it was we started with 12-week challenges, and the reason was we wanted to make sure, hey, this is something we want to do. We don't want to commit. And then after that, we say, okay, well, after 12 weeks, if we like you and you like us and things are going well, we want to move them into our Prodigy program, which is a full year. And we couldn't believe it. I mean, we had 50-some people sign up for a whole year after the first 12 weeks.
Wow.
And now we're actually I think we're not even a year old. We'll be a year old in September. And we're
a year already. Wow, that's gone fast.
So, yeah, we're building a new building right now, which will be done in July. We're bringing in some red light therapy and all these type of things along with it. We have a nutrition thing. We're building a whole gym in the back. So
right, we have a strength coach. So people do semi-private training along with their nutrition. So then you kind of have all their bases covered. Yeah. And then obviously Top Notch is the supplement of choice. So that's always.
We have our 4 streams of income. It's our supplements, it's our nutrition, it's our fitness. And then we now are bringing in red light therapy. It's a $70,000 red light bed that looks like a tanning bed that the studies are just amazing on recovery and cellular health and all of it. So we're bringing those in as a little bit more of a passive income. So we're not having to, meet with the client in order to make the money and things like that.
Sure. So are they the infrared beds or infrared lights? Or?
Yeah, it is. But this is it's a patented technology out of MIT and Harvard.
Yep.
Only 2 companies have access to it. Well, he's in Denver, and it looks like a tanning bed, but it's got 14,000 little red LEDs. You can't compare it to the little towers. And so he's like, that's like comparing a Porsche to a scooter.
Okay.
It's kind of this technology is something that no one has. The only people that have it right now are the Denver Broncos, NFL teams are using
sports
them.
Teams.
Yeah, they have them. But now he wants it to market. And we signed a 2-year exclusivity agreement to our local market.
Wow.
We're going to try to, scale the red light. But it's not about, just passive. It's about this is going to be so beneficial to clients. Joint pain. The studies on it is wild. So we went down to try it.
Personally.
Yeah, we went down. I can't wait. It's down the hill from our new house. So house is up there. I want to go down there. Twice a day. I'll be in that bed.
Yeah. Back up, clients. Back up's my turn.
Yeah.
Right. That's starting this summer. So, and I'm bringing in 2 new coaches to get them certified underneath, so they can start running some more of the nutrition coaching. And I'm not having to be. Right now, I run 40, 50 clients myself, 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So. But it's easy. I have this, we do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It's usually about 7, 8 a week or per session. So 24 clients a week I meet with. And it's awesome, man. I love it because it is it's more of a purpose thing. You really see the change and you get to help people.
And it's really cool too because the businesses all feed each other.
Work together. Yeah, they all love Top Notch. Every single one of them uses Top Notch.
So how hands-on are you within that business? Is that actual coaching per se, like you're doing a training session, or is it more, hey, check your macros, check that you're withholding to a schedule, and then give them a tick, a handshake, a pat on the back, and off you go? Or what's the
so they'll get every 2 weeks they'll meet with me. We'll have a kickoff meeting, usually about a half hour long. Not to give away our whole business plan, but I'm all about go giver, man. Everyone wants to go help other people doing it. Cool. And then I meet with them every 2 weeks for 15 minutes. And we kind of go over, and before that, we'll go over their weights, and I get a lot more deep than just macros and weight. A lot of it is I'm very versed in hormones and autoimmune and women and menopause and PCOS and that's kind of a reverse dieting, maintenance, and I'm taking them through. We sit down and periodize the whole year. This is what we want to do now. It doesn't always necessarily just go like that, but that's the goal. And man, the biggest changes have been mostly women who were drastically under eating, under training, could never see change. Now they're eating ridiculous amount of calories and maintaining their weight stronger than ever, feeling
lifting
good.
Weights and feeling
their
good.
Hormones are in check. And so that's kind of our demographics, kind of that 30 to 60 range,
30
probably.
To 60.
So anywhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, seeing their lifestyle change at this age, and it's awesome.
Right. Well, and I think they are seeing such dramatic results when they thought that they need to eat less, work out more cardio, less calories. And then when they realize, I can work out 3 days a week, eat 1,800 calories a day, and now I'm losing the weight. Versus I think that there's such a misconception about what nutrition actually looks like that it's been pretty cool to see life-changing results in that aspect. So,
and I think we don't let them do the fitness unless they're doing nutrition, because I don't believe you should be training hard, lifting weight without knowing what you're eating.
But there is a daily accountability.
Yep, and then every day they send if they're in the program and they're sending their weight daily, and we're putting it into spreadsheets for them. They're sending pictures and measurements every 4 weeks. And then they have to send their calories, their macro picture every single night to my other sister who runs that. Yeah.
So there's a lot of accountability there for these guys.
Accountability. That's what it is. That's what I'm saying. You could know everything I know, you won't do it. That's what I tell them. I'll tell them straight up. It's about, you need accountability. I need accountability. I can't, if I'm going to actually cut or lose weight, I'm hiring a coach.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you start making up these little scenarios in your head. And, I'll just have this couple. I'll just do 2 beers and I'll be good, man. It's all good.
No,
you can justify so much by yourself.
Easy. I mean, it's that age-old thing. I think it's 154 hours in a week. And you guys you catch up with them for 1 hour out of every 2 weeks or whatever it may be, then they're accountable to themselves for the other time. So that's where they've got to be on track with everything to ensure that they're going to achieve those results, or at least be honest to themselves that they're trying to achieve themselves. So,
well, and the thing is too, is then Johnny sees certain patterns, and then he'll be like, oh, I can see your weight fluctuates a lot on Sunday.
Yep.
What are you doing on Friday, Saturday? And then it's kind of like,
eating, drinking.
it's kind of like,
you think I don't see your weight diving right before a meeting?
Well,
you know?
yeah, exactly. So you can see the trends then with the daily accountability, which, like Johnny said, it without accountability.
And I think, like I said, we dress so much. The first thing we do is fix people's sleep. That's the first thing. We don't even talk. It's getting their circadian rhythm fixed. I think that's number one. Mm-hmm. And then it's gut, and then it's liver, and that's all these things. And then it's like, if all that's good, let's go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not ready to. So I think too, people are so focused on weight loss when they come into any type of program, nutrition, any of it. It's like, I need to lose 20 pounds fast as possible. When they get into eating well and training and being on a regular, consistent schedule, and they realize, wow, my energy is amazing. I'm sleeping better than I have in years. My sex drive is back.
My relationships are getting better. Like, I think that then people realize, like, weight loss is one of the least exciting benefits of getting healthy, which is pretty cool.
Phenomenal. Now, go
ahead, man. Sorry.
No, that's all right. All good. I was just going to say, obviously, this was a new business venture for you guys. How much of a kibosh did the whole COVID-19 thing put into that side of the business? Because there seems to be, there's a little bit of face-to-face there. This is obviously an opportunity for you guys to get to know your clients and have that sort of human interaction. Did that put a bit of a damper on things or slow things down for you?
Yeah, so I think just like COVID did, I think it's like we don't work with everybody. These are loyal people. That, like, it's the 50 to 100 people that we want to hang out with outside of the business, and these people trust us. So we did initially the training part. Boom, was online within a couple of days. We had them come in, check out equipment. They took it home. So they had equipment with a little higher, for a little while during COVID, and then I just went Zoom, right away. So I'm still doing Zoom right now, and no one has a problem with it.
Oh, Zoom. Zoom meeting.
Zoom meetings. And then the fitness just boom was online. Now they're back in person. But the great part is semi-private training that we do is only 10 people anyway. So the limit here is 10 to 12 people in a room.
Yep.
So we're good there. Even if they kept those restrictions forever, which I don't see it changing anytime soon. I think it's going to go on for the next 6 to 12 months probably. We're good. We built the business to be, 6 feet apart and have your space and be able to do that. So who we lost were the people that I don't want to say we didn't want to work with, but they didn't evolve. That's if people don't have the growth mindset and want to evolve, you can go. Yeah. We want the 100 people that seriously want to make change. Not only, for them but like, I don't want to be a high turnover business where it's a small town where there's 20 people every month going out saying, it didn't work. Well, not because of us, but because of you, but they're telling people that. Right. No, I want 100 people that all talk good about the business.
Well, and there's some serious transformations. I mean, some of the people who started at the beginning and have been with you now for 8-9 months.
Yep.
I mean, the transformations, and like I said, not just with weight, but just with overall, like, energy, like, they just look
they're different.
Alive.
That's what I said. Instead of volume, sometimes I think it's focusing on the 50 and making us. That was our goal in the beginning. Let's take 50 people and change their lives. Yeah. That in this town, we've never run an ad. It's all 100% referral, and we're full. Yeah. And that's why I think it's because we focused on just 50 people instead of worrying so much about skyrocketing and running ads, getting as many people as possible. It was get 50, change their lives over the course of 6 months. The rest is history.
Let them do the advertising for you.
100%.
Exactly. Yep. Well, I think sometimes people look at how many people you can get in the door at the beginning, maybe do a lower.
They're running 12-week challenges over and over and over.
Right. And that people fall off, and after 6 weeks they just say, whatever, I'm over it. And there's less accountability, there's less one-on-one, and I think that the fail rate is so much higher. But like Johnny said, we want to have people who are committed and do it because you want to actually make a difference.
Just like Top Notch, right? If we won't take it, we won't make it. Well, I know numbers that 90% of people put the weight back on. So if you leave the program after 12 weeks and you haven't changed your habits, it's going back. So what am I doing? Yeah. We have a 50 to 100 people in a 1-year contract. I know after 1 year, they're not putting that weight back on. They have changed their habits, their mindset, their lifestyle. And if they don't, then we're not doing the right thing. And that's those 6 to 12 week challenges. Do they work sometimes for 10, 20 pounds? Sure. But I guarantee you 90% of them, that's
putting it back on. Yeah.
And because you're way more prone to put weight on after a dieting phase.
Well, and then they've been restricted for so long that as soon as they're done with their 12 weeks, like, oh, I did it.
Well,
and
one,
then
they overeat, or they continue to stay in that deficit, which we know you shouldn't stay there, right? You need to reverse back to your maintenance calories.
Sure.
So that's where you hang out. They all hang out in deficit, or they just go crazy and put it back on.
Right.
So again, it's just doing the right thing, I think.
Yeah.
Forcing them to do that. Say it's 1 year, it's nothing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
1 year to change your life is, in the grand scheme of
1 year.
everything, is not so bad.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's something you touched on just before. It's like people that stand still, that don't want to evolve, and evolution shows if you stand still, you perish, and you've got to continue to adapt and change. So that's cool. So where to for you guys next? You've got Top Notch. What's the plans for Top Notch? You've got your personal training. What's the other business called again? Evolve?
Evolve. Yep.
Evolve. You've got Evolve. What's the plan for these both? And are they working independently? Are you sort of pushing them forward together? How does this fit into the whole bigger picture? And what is the bigger picture for you guys over the next few years?
So I think a 5-year plan here for us is get Evolve into the new space. And we see that as a potential franchise model, the way we've structured it with the red light, fitness, nutrition. Not necessarily something, it's just a great business here locally. It's in person. Top Notch, the goal is to go to the moon and then sell within 5 years if that's the option. Like you never know though. What if we get there and we love doing it and it's exciting at the time? We like our team and we just want to keep going.
Yeah.
The goal in the beginning with Top Notch was to get to a certain level and sell it. It is kind of the home run. But we love the brand. We love where it's at. There's days where you're like, oh man, like I just want to sell this thing. But no, I mean, I think both. We don't want to be a Fortune 500 company. I don't want to not sound ambitious or anything, but I don't want to handle 500 employees. It's not my goal.
Yep. I
will hand that off far before that because we value time more than anything. I don't want to be working like that and just have the stress.
Right.
And
we said we would rather build it to a certain level and then pass the torch to somebody who wants to build it.
And as you've seen with our moving, we don't get bored necessarily. Sorry, I had to plug in the computer so I had to move it a little closer.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think we're gonna get bored with Top Notch because it's kind of an ever evolving business.
Right.
But I know it won't be the last thing we do. So I think in 5 years the goal is to sell both or have a business there that I think Evolve. We're gonna have a lot of coaches and eventually be able to kind of step out and just to be able to just manage it. I don't want to be doing nutrition meetings all week, every week. I don't like to have to be somewhere. That's just kind of my thing. We used to just travel, right? We used to go wherever we wanted.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I have to be there. Like, I don't like that. No, I think time is the most valuable asset, man.
I don't like my time dictated by somebody else. That's essentially the underlying thing.
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
So, no, I mean, I know we can say, but if you look back 5 years, I'm like, whew, wouldn't have never planned that. So I know in 5 years, it's all going to change 10 times over.
Yeah.
The goal is to just keep growing. I think more than anything is if you're not growing, you're dying. That's always been our thing, our saying. And it's like when things are really good, I actually get kind of nervous. I'm like, oh, man, we got to work harder right now.
That's common human psychology. When things are good, we just those worry triggers come in play. Like, something bad's going to happen soon. We better keep moving forward.
Not even bad. We've got better about that because Amazon, I used to think it used to happen when things were good. It seemed like, dude, we'd take a vacation and the first day, as soon as we land, boom, products under review. I'm like, my whole trip's got ruined. But no, I think it's just that's the ups and downs of business. We've kind of learned that now. So
exactly. You just take it on the chin, keep moving forwards.
Yeah. So no, man. I mean, plan is just keep growing. That's it.
Yep. And like we said, I mean, when we look back, when we were doing remote control cars on eBay, we had never imagined this is where we'd be 5 years later. So I guess we have no clue where 5 years will be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now, I know, obviously knowing your brand and working with you guys intimately, the US and Canada is your core market. Do you have plans to break out internationally? Do you have plans on putting those supply chains or those logistic chains in place so that you can service other parts of the world? Does it make is it a viable option for you? Is it on the cards?
I think so. I think it, saying Top Notch is a worldwide brand sounds pretty awesome. And I think
doesn't it?
I'd want that. But I don't, that's where it would depend. Like if someone came to buy our company and they had those connections and were able to do that with the snap of their fingers, I ain't going 10 years busting my butt trying to figure it out. We still have so much room, I think, here yet. When we cap that, then I would definitely look at expanding. But I know the stresses of that as well. Just anything overseas is tough.
Right. Well, and we've Australia would be an awesome market for us to go in, just because we are a clean supplement line, which is.
And we know a few people over there.
We know one ingredient that will not get into our country.
Yeah.
So let me dive into that story. So, I mean, obviously you guys sent over a big, bundle of your goods, all your products here, which I was so excited to receive. And then, there's a delay, and what's going on? Then I finally received a seizure notice, and I read it, and I'm like, all through here. And I was just like, boom, one particular ingredient in one product out of a big bundle. So 2 boxes you sent in. It was your Himby, was it?
Yep.
So on FDA, or the Therapeutic Goods Act,
it's an all natural thing. It's just that
it's an aphrodisiac. That's what they consider an aphrodisiac here, which is on their banned substance list. So I was like, okay, wow, no problems. I emailed customs, emailed the broker, and I said, kindly, hey, listen, this is one ingredient within one product that out of a whole package that's being banned. Can you please just hold that aside and send me the rest? I literally got a 1-sentence line response going, there's the banned ingredient list. And then it said, you will not be receiving this back. And I was just like, I was gobsmacked. I was like, there's no empathy, no attempt to even try and explain what's going on. And they said, if you want to try and claim this back, fill in this form. So, downloaded the form, filled it in, but the form is very much geared to the one product that got banned. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't care about that product. Just send me the rest. So I was like, I'm going to ignore this. I'm just going to write down, I wrote down half an essay, this product, blah, 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 and left it at that. And I was like, okay, I'm leaving it in the hands of the customs gods. And then literally a week or 2 weeks later, I get a, ding dong, someone's at the door, and some guy rocks up with 2 boxes. I'm like, phenomenal. They must have let everything come through. So
yeah, that's the crazy part. And then they didn't even let you know that it was approved. It just showed up.
Nothing.
So
just there, yeah. And they actually received another email just before telling me, again, no, sorry, we cannot release that product. So I was like,
this is my fear with going international. When you send pallets and that happens, then you're like, and I mean, I'm just thinking, man, that thing is somewhere in customs in another country and I have no control.
Yeah. That's where international gets scary. At least Australian is English speaking. So that's helpful.
I think our first thing we may even, I mean, this has kind of changed our mindset a little with COVID, but I would max out online and then I'd start looking at other things like bodybuilding.com or retail or online marketplaces like Thrive, stuff like that. I'd go there first before I went international. I would maximize the US because I think where we want to sell at or, get to, we could do that within US and Canada. So why, and we share a border with Canada, so a little easier there.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. But that on that note as well, that's easily fixed and it really just comes down to doing a bit of research. And speaking to a broker, the easy way to do it is just get a broker and just go, hey, these are our core ingredients in all of our products. Can you do the research first before you even attempt? And they'll come back and they say, yeah, this, and this is banned. So, I can't send Burn. I can't send XYZ product because it contains this product. Or you may change it for the Australian market. Or you may relabel just for the Australian.
That's what I would do is look at our best selling products that are approved already and just start there. Yeah. Just funnels. Probably not even a website, just funnels.
Exactly. But the options are there. But I think you're right in saying that hey, you've got a fantastic market that's proven within the US and Canada that's really maximized, capitalize on that, and understand every part of the business as you do, and then maybe look at international markets. So
for sure. 100%.
I think it's really like a sexy thing to look and say, oh, we're in 15 countries,
it is.
like right off the bat. But at the same time, it's like if you're doing all 15 countries average,
it's a lot more employees. There's a lot more to handle.
A lot more work to do than to just do, US and Canada really, really well, which is what we want.
Even with COVID right now, if you have product all over the world and this happened, I don't even know that you can, like Canada right now, we're having trouble just getting packages shipments are taking 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
Because they're holding that customs so long. So there you go. There's one issue right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you'll know instinctively when it comes time to make those moves. You'll know.
Exactly. Nothing's forced. That's one thing we've stopped doing. If it feels forced, stop. Just don't do it.
And what's something so cool about your business model and why I think you guys have thrived, like you literally thrived during this pandemic, is the fact that you manufacture within the US. you sell within the US. Majority of what you do is within the US.
Sure.
So you guys were, not really affected. So we've had other clients with the agency that either manufactured in China, so straight away the supply chains got held up, and they sold internationally. So they had to really pick and choose which countries were affected or which countries they could effectively send to. So there was a whole plethora of, challenges as that came as soon as COVID hit. But with you guys, it's sort of like, you ducked and weaved and it all happened well. And then you got a bit of Trump change. So the stimulus
change.
People were spending and then it went boom, so you guys, not only survived, but you thrived. So it's a credit to your brand. It's a credit to what you guys have built. And it's a credit to your,
digital sucker punch.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't going to. Hang on, there we go.
Boom. Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. But that's only part of it. That's only what we do with the agency. That's only the part of it. You can't sell shit. You can sprinkle a turd with glitter and it's still a turd. But you guys have got a fantastic product, a fantastic brand, and that's what makes it easy to market that product. So it's a credit to your ability, and you guys have done fantastic. And listen, for anyone that's listening today, where can we find you, or where can they find Top Notch Nutrition? Give us the URLs. And also, if you're willing to share, if anyone would want to reach out to you guys to have a bit of a chat, pick your brain, or maybe learn more about what you guys do, how can they get in contact with you? Provide us the W's, provide us any URLs that you're willing to share, please.
Yeah, so website products is just topnotchnutrition.com.
Yep.
If you wanted to reach out, absolutely support at topnotchnutrition.com. Me and Bethany will actually get that directly. We're happy to anyone that's building a brand to kind of help them. We have actually some people in the family that grow in a brand, and just be able to help them kind of get around some of those hiccups we hit. It's been huge. So we're always happy to give back.
Yep.
And then our blog now, we have livetopnotch.com. You'll find a lot of keto recipes, articles, things on there. We're starting to transition that to our website, so it'll be on the same site. Facebook page, where we go live every bi-weekly now, is facebook.com/livetopnotch. And then Instagram is just at Top Notch Nutrition.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. Hey guys, this has been really, really good. I love the natural conversation. Appreciate your time. And thank you very much for coming on Staying on Point.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot.
Take care. Bye.
All right. We'll see you later.
Thank you for listening to Staying on Point. Tune in with us on our next episode as we dive in, interviewing other fantastic guests, finding out exactly what makes them tick and how they've achieved their success.